Hello, programmers! Today we're going to make a Hello World example using a very cool module or set of modules, actually Pygame, which is free to download, just like Python's free to download, but it doesn't come automatically installed when you download Python. Pygame's really good for 2D games with animation, and on my Mac I install it with a command pip3 install pygame from the terminal. Depending on what type of computer you have, a Mac or a PC, or which version of Python you're using, installing a module for the first time may be a little intimidating. Here are some of the common commands that people use to install modules. Sometimes it's just pip install and then the module name you want to install. For me, it's pip3. If you have a Python version 3.8, it might be pip 3.8. I've also seen module installs happen with python-m pip install and then the module you want. So these are the 4 commands I'd recommend trying. You can also Google search, how do I install a module on Python? I'll try to put some more things in the comments for things for you to try, but I'm going to assume that you're able to put this on your computer, install this module, and move forward from there. So if you've been successful downloading the Pygame modules, you should be able to say import and then Pygame in the interactive shell and get no error. And that's how you can tell that it's working. So let's go ahead and make a Hello World program. I'm going to start by doing new file. And in fact, I'm going to copy and paste the first 3 lines in so that we don't waste time with me typing. You'll start by importing Pygame. And then I've got a tuple, which is an immutable set of values that has 2 values in it. One is the screen length and the other is the screen width. So this is what I want to pop up when I run this, a screen of this size. And I'm going to say Pygame display set mode, and then that's where I put in the window size. So we've got that to start out with. And then I'm also going to put the word hello world on the screen, the 2 words hello and world. So I'm going to say Pygame, I need a font, I need to initialize a font, and I'm going to say my font, the one I'm going to choose for this Pygame from System Fonts is the Comic Sans MS. And then, then the size 40 is what I was going to pick out. So something that's easy to read. And then I'm going to define 2 functions. One is going to be a draw window function. So with Pygame, you end up redrawing what's on the screen over and over many times per minute even, so that it can interact with the user can do something on the keyboard, and then the screen changes. So my draw window function for this example, it's not going to change that often. I'm going to start with maybe a green background. And to make the color green, if I was combining red and green and blue, I would give it a tuple where the first thing inside the tuple is how much red do you want? And I've got the full amount of green possible and no blue. All right, so let's keep going here. We've got our background. We want to take that when variable, which is short for window. When we're setting up the size, the 400 by 200, we created a variable when. Now we're going to say take that and fill this using that green background. And then we also want to put a message on using the font we created. So I'm going to use my font and render, create a message, hello world. And here's where I would pass in the color of that. If I leave all these as 0, I should be getting black. We'll see if that shows up nicely on the green background. If not, we can change the font color. And then I'm going to say in that window, the way you get something, a shape or an image to be displayed on top of something else is this function BLIT. So I'm going to blit that message on, And where do I want it to appear? Well, maybe in position 200. So that's, since the whole window is 400 by 200, this is roughly in the middle, a little bit off center, but roughly in the middle. I want to put that message on that window. And then anytime you've made any changes, you need to have the display run an update function. So that's a lot of work just to get hello on the screen, but I promise it's going to be worth it. One more thing is I want to define a main function where execution can start, just like a lot of programming languages have execution start in main. So in here, it's going to look a little weird because it looks like I'm creating an infinite loop. I'm going to have a variable run set to true and then say while run. So we've learned that that's going to infinitely run, but that's what we want. We want the game to keep on going until the user hits the X on the upper left corner. So that will be an event that we'll be checking for constantly every time we run through here. So for the event in the Pygame events, we'll go ahead and get all of the interactions with the user and this game. And if we found an event with the type of Pygame quit, well, then we're going to quit the program. Let me spell quit right. And then we'll say run is false. So that will stop this infinite loop. And now inside of my while loop, but not inside of the for loop where I'm checking all the events, I'm going to call the function to draw the window. So draw a window just like that. And I still need to, if they have stopped running this while loop, I want the Pygame to quit. So I'll call the quit function. So I keep misspelling quit. One more line, I promise, and then we're going to run it and it'll be really cool. The last thing is I need to actually call that main function so we start everything off. So cross my fingers and hit run module, and we'll hope it runs on the first try. Oops, invalid syntax. Okay, I just missed ending parentheses because I had 2 opening parentheses, so I need 2 closing parentheses. All right, let's try again. Run module. And cool, we get a little window. It pops up. It is green with black font from my hello world, a little bit off center, so I could change the position of that if I want. And if I hit the X in the upper left-hand corner, then I have exited out of that game. All right, what else could we change? Well, if we want that to be displayed a little bit to the left, so I'm going to just pick a different number here, and remember 00 is the upper left corner of Pygame. I don't remember if I said that or not. So if I want to go over 150, I'm going over almost to the middle, and the reason I'm not going over exactly to the middle is my words are going to take up some space. So I want to start not in the center, but start a little to the left of the center. If you wanted to try a different color, we could plug in different numbers here. What if I wanted to combine red and green and see what color I get there? Well, that'll be displaying it with my Hello World font. And I think that's less readable than the black was, so I'll maybe change that. But I'm going to pause this, and then I'm going to extend this example to make a frog hopping to a pond based on user input.